name is Harry, and I'm from London.
Meghan Markle here.
Today is Sunday, September 28, 2025. It is 7:43 a.m. This is video number 3. And we're going to continue with the same topic, leaking. I have a long list, so I'm dividing it into different parts because I don't want it to be a long recording. And I need to give the office later to one of the kids to do their work. And I could always edit any of those videos anytime someplace else in the house, but the office I need to record it over here while they're still not up. All right, so this is the first tweet here. It's making reference to video 1 and 2, and we continue with the same topic, the leaking that's going on in UK regarding the royal family. And there we have it. All right, so that's a retweet. If I come across this someplace else, I'll just skip it. Okay, I think I have a feeling I put this on the list someplace else. Okay, here's Tom Sykes admitting in his latest live that William and Clive Alderton, the Ralphs, want to undermine the reconciliation between Harry and Charles and are the ones briefing and leaking lies to the British press. He calls them Harry's foes. All right, let me go into it. Okay, let me read some of these here. So that's Shanduka. There are people in this world who behave as though they are above the law and mistreat people and then play the victim card and use the very press they disdain to harm people who have the courage to challenge their conduct. Okay, so I'm done with this. If I come back, it's to that's a TikTok video, so forget it. Let's go into that. Let's listen.
Well, plenty of people within the royal household who do want to undermine the reconciliation between Charles and Harry. For starters, there is William, and plenty of people on his team who think that it's a very foolish, stupid move. And then there are lots of people in Charles's own camp.
Well, there's a part here he said, I'm gonna interrupt in between. Maybe I'll let it play later without me interrupting again. Where's this part here? People who wants to undermine what Charles and Harry is doing, to want peace, reconciliation, because they still want the division. The papers, when they write things, they want to pen people against one another. Okay, so let's bring it back here.
Stupid move. And then there are lots of people in Charles's own camp, his courtiers, who don't think it's a great move. And leading among them is Charles's private secretary, Sir Clive Alderton, a well-known Harry foe. I don't think it's any great secret that he's a Harry foe. I mean, it's...
Some of these people, their agenda is much bigger than the institution. Okay? What's with them getting in the middle between a father and son? This is why Harry wanted to separate these things. When he's doing public things, take as many pictures you want. You could ask him questions. That doesn't mean he will answer it, whatever. But when it comes to the private part, the father, the family aspect of them, he wants these people to be out of there. Don't get involved.
Everyone has a right to their privacy, and you know, a lot of the members of the public get it. But sadly, in some areas, there is this sort of incessant need to find out every little bit of detail about what goes on behind the scenes. It's unnecessary. You know, I hope that people get to see me here in this Invictus role, you know, cracking on with the guys and mucking in and having a good time with them. And this is half my official role, but half my private role. This is what I enjoy doing. But the private life has to be private, and I hope people respect that.
But the agenda that's going on here, this is where some of the politics come into play here. They have an agenda for themselves. Business people have an agenda for themselves. If the institution is in harmony, there's no division, there's no distraction, they can maneuver, even though they're still doing that thing. You could see some of the thing that's happening. They're still doing that thing, but they want more distraction. And also, they want the institution, the monarch, to, how will I say that, to get them out of trouble if they get caught. The same way you see what's going on in the US. All pretty much politicians who were elected, they all shut their mouth when things is happening. So they sort of put a muzzle or tie their hand behind their back, frame them for them to be in a position when those business people are in trouble, so they could threaten the monarchy to get them out of trouble. That's what I think. So Harry, who is a well-minded individual and he knows what's going on, so they don't want that reconciliation. And this is what probably fueling William, making William feel enraged and William feel confident to do some of his stupid things because he has these people behind him. Alright, I will play this again, like I said, without any interruption. I'll record it by itself.
There in Harry's book, he describes him as the wasp. He says he's the wasp. And so it was just, I don't know, I understand Harry's point of view. Like, Harry feels like the back briefing against him and the sort of use of anonymous sources to undermine him, it was one of the main complaints in Spare, and he feels that it was a massive contributory factor in the sort of breakdown of his mental health in the run-up to him leaving the family, and part of Meghan's mental health troubles.
And they did the same thing to Princess Diana too. Anybody who marry into the institution, or anyone who is well-minded, who is somewhat stable with common sense, okay, that's the key here, common sense. Even if you don't marry into the institution, if you have common sense, they do not want that. They want you to be somewhat delusion, believe in fairy tale, and then they want to control things. All right.
Was this, and you can see, right, it would make you feel paranoid if there's stuff appearing in the paper and you've had a conversation with a person and you've said one thing, and then an account of it appears in the newspaper that says something totally different.
Exactly.
Well,
all right. I'll record it by itself and then I'll insert my own video in there. All right, let's continue with the comment. There's just, you know what, let's play it here. When I do record it by itself, let's play it without any interruption. Hopefully I don't have anything to say.
Well, plenty of people within the royal household who do want to undermine the reconciliation between Charles and Harry. For starters, there is William, and plenty of people on his team who think that it's a very foolish, stupid move. And then there are lots of people in Charles's own camp, his courtiers, who don't think it's a great move. And leading among them is Charles's private secretary, Sir Clive Alderton, a well-known Harry foe. I don't think it's any great secret that he is a Harry foe. I mean, it's there in Harry's book. He describes him as the wasp. He says he's the wasp. And so it was just, I don't know, I understand Harry's point of view. Like, Harry feels like the back briefing against him and the sort of use of anonymous sources to undermine him, it was one of the main complaints in Spare, and he feels that it was a massive contributory factor in the sort of breakdown of his mental health in the run-up to him leaving the family, and part of Meghan's mental health troubles. Was this, and you can see, right, it would make you feel paranoid if there's stuff appearing in the paper and you've had a conversation with a person and you've said one thing, and then an account of it appears in the newspaper that says something totally different.
All right, so that's that. Let me read some of the comments. All right, let's pause this. They are just exposing themselves with all this complaining about Harry's visit. All they're doing now is proving that what the Sussexes said in the past years, that the palace did smear campaign against them to make them leave. Exactly. What did we miss? Isn't he William's man? The British media is as divided as its controller, the royal family. He's using his insider scoop to promote his new substract. Still play both sides of the coin though. More than likely, he has a book in the making. Very possible. You're not gonna see me talking about it. The squad will probably talk about it, but I will not put his name or the cover or something like that. I mean, we knew this already, but for Tom Sykes to name sources like this, why do we think he did it? I personally believe he's tired of the palace silencing journalists. Alright, well then, okay, the conversation continue. He's building his own channel, and I think he's going with stories where he's got insider knowledge to differentiate himself and attract subscribers. He says he's known about his power struggle for a long time and decided to write about it and lead to reporting on it. I'm truly stunned. Is the tide turning, or is, if the squad didn't say he is Tom Sykes, I will not know. This is why I don't bother following these people. They play two faces. If you truly believe on something, all right, look how YouTube tried to deter me from not sharing Harry and Meghan things. If I didn't believe in some of the things that they're doing and the good things that I see with my own two eyes that they're doing, no matter what YouTube does, it will not deter me from not talking about them. Even though this could be a silly move on my part, about financially, where I'm spending time making videos, it's not making that much money, but I always feel it as an investment. How would you say it's an investment when you're not getting money? Guess what? I have kids. They have their future is on the line. So why will I side with the people who's creating unnecessary burden and modeling, making their future worse? Why will I participate in it? This is the kind of investment that I'm making and doing those videos. At least, I mean, I don't think it's a huge thing that I'm doing here. From day one, I told you, it's some people who, well, not day one, but as I started sharing some of the tweets, there are squaddies who are not on Twitter. They are very busy, who's probably doctors, lawyers, or whatever. They don't have time to go to Twitter, or they can't mentally go over all of those tweets to read them because it plays with their mental well-being. So I don't mind. Okay, some of them do get me upset, but I don't process it in the same way that some people would. So I don't mind doing the video to at least give you that little insight of the squaddies that are talking about it. Because now, what is it, Sussex Squad podcast, some of the original Sussex squaddies are not creating videos on a daily basis anymore, to do their own podcast where some of the squad will come and talk about it or things like that. But they are on Twitter. They are on different social media. Like, for instance, I say I'm not on TikTok for my own personal reason. It's not because I can't handle what is being talked about. There's something in terms of politics that's going on. And if, let's just say, I'm going to leave it as that. That's for my own personal reason. But for the squaddies, that me sharing some of the discussion that's going on Twitter, and to put a link between some squaddies who do not have time to go on Twitter, and me sharing with you what the other squaddies are saying. What I'm doing here is not huge. It's nothing special. Anybody could do it. But I don't mind doing it. And then at the same time, as I'm saying, I insert my opinion in some of those things and let you know how I see certain things. But anyway, that's a different story. Let me read. Where was I? Even with my crazy accent too. He says he's known about this power struggle for a long time and decided to write about it and lead the reporting on it. I am truly stunned. Is the tide turning, or is he just trying to build, as you said, because they are extremely powerful and will destroy anyone stepping out of the destroy Harry line? I'm amazed. Thank you for posting and finding pleasure. This is what I'm saying. The squad are everywhere. The squaddies who are on Twitter, each one of them have a different level of mindset. There's some squaddies who don't like to go back and forth with the derangers. There are some who take pleasure in it, okay? There are some who don't mind following the derangers or the Daddy Fell Royal Rats because they could they could handle it. Me, I really don't have the time for that. I just want to focus on the discussion. So when something happens, at least I know what's going on. So the squad bring in from places that I'm not even following, bring it under my timeline, and thank God I'm following the right one. And then I share this with you. Alright, the same way that I'm going to Twitter, the same way some of the squaddies are going to different platforms and bring it on Twitter for me. How many times Twitter have tried to discourage a lot of squaddies from being on Twitter? Because this is where the tea is, alright? I haven't been on Blue Sky for a while, and this is where some of the squad have gone to stay away from the nonsense, the derangers that's going on Twitter. But Twitter is where the real discussion is at. The mess. Alright, so that's that. Alright. Whatever's on the screen, this discussion here, let's focus on that. Okay, about time Sykes said what we know for years. William and Knuff have been behind the majority of the tabloid dishing of Harry and Meghan. His lazy, arrogant attitude is bad value for money for the voters, as Harry's last visit proved. As for Charles, I believe that's Charles, he needs to go appear and stand up to Alderton. William is truly evil. Okay, isn't he anti-Sussex? Why is he doing this? I must have missed something. Okay, he started a subtract and has an inside on this story, so I guess the exclusive Trump loyalty. Interesting, although I'm not even gonna stop side-eyeing him because it won't take much to flip the narrative again. These people, you know, their religion is money. They flip very easily. He is still a William man. Do not deceive. Yeah, exactly. I'm not ever buying into any of these hack criticism. William and good faith. It's always a tactic threat for them to ensure that Willie always toes the line. Alright, so let's go to the next tweet. I can't believe this. 16 minutes on just the first tweet. It seems like I'm gonna have like 5 videos. This is the third recording. Alright, so this is BBC UK. I'm not gonna click on the article. Harry says people trying to sabotage reconciliation with King. Okay. William's dirty rotten hands. Let's move that. Okay. William's dirty rotten hands are all over this. He is as stupid as he is predictable. He leaks to the same favorable journalist and he thinks we won't notice. Matt Wilkinson of The Sun, really? Harry is right. William is spiraling out of control over 2 men meeting for tea. William has his own effing up relationship with his father to deal with. What happened between Charles and Harry is none of William's business. Exactly. Let's see. There's 3 comments under it. In my opinion, these are the same dirty, grubby hands that infected and ruined Santa Bali. Could be, yeah. I didn't think about that, but yes, ask yourself who had the self-importance, self-entitlement, capacity to declare Africa is mine. All this at the expense of a man's one-sided upmanship to the harm his mother's legacy. When did Harry said this? If you ever work with abuse victims, you will know that classic sign. Think Thomas Markle. Public abuse of Meghan Markle of an abuser is that the abused victim abuse Prince William. No contact and abuser. Prince Harry relentlessly project themselves as victim. What? Prince abuser is Prince Harry. Relentlessly project themselves as victim. Okay. Let's see here. Look no further than this taxpayer blood-sucking, jealous, lazy brat. He can't stop telling the media what he thinks and feels about Harry. How would reporters know his thoughts and feelings if they're not in his head and heart? He's been talking again. He's a waste of public money. There's all of this. Harry's damn right about it too. The Palace are exceptional leakers to the tabloid every time. Palace source, Palace insider said. Who are these Palace sources? Alright, so you could pause and read all of that. Okay, I have this video somewhere. I'll put that video for you of that lady here from Jeremy Vine.
the press and the media.
That's
and as
true.
they say at the start of episode 1, they say so many books and shows and stories have been written about us. We wanted to have our own say. And remember, the purpose of the PR office at the royal family is to keep the royals in the press all the time. So you have to remember, when I work in newsrooms, it's a fact that every anti-Harry and Meghan story comes from Kensington Palace.
But why
and if it comes from Kensington Palace, why are they briefing against their own grandson?
Well, okay, that's a very... The idea...
Why are there never any
I think that's fascinating.
about Prince William?
Were William and Kate involved in briefing against them originally? I don't know. That's a good point. But having a war on the media, I don't know whether that's worth the candle.
Royal sources. Look at all the point down here. Sadly, we can see from spokesperson's quote that this only reinforces Harry's belief that people within the palace were always briefing against him and his family. All right, 27. Okay, that's from that article. There's all of that. Oh my God, whatever's on the screen. He is right, and the leader of that pack is the king's other son. It could be the horse too. There's a possibility the horse spoke to Charles after the meeting, and then to not put his name for nothing to point toward her, and she knows William will be leaking, and told William about it, and then William went and thinking it's a good thing. All right, yes, it's called William. Prince William written all over it. All right, let's go to the next tweet. So we are now into some of the squad talking about, well, pretty much it was the squad anyway. Gotcha. Prince Harry, quote, someone from the palace is leaking false stories about my visit to sabotage my reconciliation with my dad. The Sun, quote, we stand by our palace source. Prince Harry, gotcha. Alright. So the Sun actually admit that their false information was leaked by the palaces. No more to say then. This should shut all the idiot that says Prince Harry can be trusted as he leaks everything. The thing with the tabloid, I remember where I think it was in one of Jeremy Vine's videos, someone in that in one of the segments said that Harry is gonna leak and something. They know very well. They even tell you that the leak is coming from the royal family.
Much of the negativity towards the couple is coming from within the royal family. The royal family and staff of the royal family are the ones that are very often leaking these stories to the press.
But they still want to confuse people. They must, I didn't want to go into it. They must now hang their heads in shame as their lies have been exposed. You think they have shame? They don't care. This solved the problem now. Is there any comment? Liars who lies with impunity will always fall in their own BS. That toxic institution and unstable press pack have F around and are finding out. Agree? They really outed themselves. Twats. They have no shame. Okay? Keep that in mind. They've been doing this for a very long time. They have no shame. Okay, yep, laughing my ass off, lol. Leave it to the Sun to believe some guy briefing from KP rather than the prince who was actually in the meeting. Of course, King Charles knows who is telling the truth. Alright, have you got the article? LOL. Prince Harry, there's the I here, right after the nasty Sun newspaper put that out, confirming what he said was right. Terrible people can't let a father and son reconcile in peace. Okay, this is where the private part here. This has nothing to do with the public. It's from father and son. But they still want to get in his business. And I want to thank William for this, for kicking Harry out. That way, Meghan and the kids don't have to be in this nonsense. I'm praying that those obstacles get removed immediately. Harry doesn't have much longer with his papa, so these sabotaging idiots needs to be stopped. LOL, exactly. They really are a clown show. There's the laugh here. Whoops. Alright, so there's all of this. Oh, wonder who could it be? There's the laugh here. So effing deluded. Alright, so there's all of that. If you want to read it, pause and read. Okay, King Charles conspired with Rupert Murdoch to destroy his son, Prince Harry, and Meghan Markle. King Charles has been colluded with Rupert Murdoch via his wife Camilla. Okay, this is the one here we're not naming. She's probably in the middle of all of that. To destroy the reputation of his son Prince Harry and his wife Meghan Markle. Prince Harry has strongly alluded to this without explicitly stating it in numerous interviews he has given to promote his new book.
She was the villain. She was the third person in the marriage. She needed to rehabilitate her image.
You and your brother both directly asked your dad not to marry Camilla.
Yes.
Why?
We didn't think it was necessary. We thought that it was going to cause more harm than good, and that if he was now with his person, that surely that's enough. Why go that far when you don't necessarily need to? We wanted him to be happy, and we saw how happy he was with her. So at the time, it was okay.
You wrote that she started a campaign in the British press to pave the way for a marriage, and you wrote, I even wanted Camilla to be happy. Maybe she'd be less dangerous if she was happy.
Mm-hmm.
How was she dangerous?
Because of the need for her to rehabilitate her image.
That made her dangerous.
That made her dangerous because of the connections that she was forging within the British press.
I rather spoon my... Okay, so there's that. Let's go to the next tweet. You could read that. All of this is the creation of Charles, but men in grey suit trained Charles to be in that state. For the state that the institution is in, it's crafted and catered to by men in grey suit along with the tabloid. The moment the queen's father passed, Charles' grandfather died, okay, they started training Charles to be pretty much not knowing his true values as a king, as a monarch. All right, next tweet. Royal sources say, friendly reminder that these are the royal sources being quoted by the voter. Royal sources. He's hideous. Very 100% cis, 100%. Amazing, incredible, astounding, as in I'm speechless that a man who has literally everything is so insecure and obsessed and envious of what he evidently doesn't have that he's about to crash out, or worse, crash out others' lives. It's horrible to watch. You remember that thing I usually say? You want everything, you're gonna end up with nothing. Alright, so this is the thing, they're leading him. This is why those men in grey suit, the papers are behind him. They want self-destruct. So no fingers is pointing toward them, even though we see the participation. Look how the US is being self-destructing. It's the same thing they want for the royal family. Alright, I just read that. Let's pause this. Bottom up. That's the life here. The calls are coming from inside the house. Hate really ages William in the worst way. 40 going on 60. Anna Patanak said it, and I believe her. This is his life work, trolling his brother on the internet and on the phone with the Vodovat. Unfortunately, I think he's beyond help. Okay, it is very sad that right now the British press has that picture in their hands, and I think though that the pic is under embargo because Charles and William know that if ever that pic is published, they will be fried by Prince Harry. Alright, let's go to the next tweet. Looks like I might have another video, but let's try to do it really quickly. Who leaks it if Harry dispute the story? Alright, so that's from the Mirror. Definitely, I'm not gonna share that. Alright, Harry himself, so he could dispute it and blame everyone else. No, Harry doesn't talk to these people. You must be ridiculous. Okay, do you have a list of people he has blamed? Alright, Big Brother. Let's see here. 4 hours later, still no reply to this loser. Alright, so there's that. Big Brother, if he told someone that it has to be someone from Harry's side, how will his dad or William know that? What? How will his dad? Well, Harry had the meeting with his dad. The question is, how did William knows it? Harry very rarely leaked anything. Okay, that question here said, list some of the things that they blame Harry. Do you have a list of people he has blamed? Alright? Harry always take charge of his own narrative and come out of his mouth.
So, again, one of the reasons why I wrote this book is every word in that book is mine. And I realized that especially...
What do you mean by that?
Because the amount of unnamed sources that have fed information to the British tabloids about me and my wife and my family.
You have a source,
true
and it's you.
and not true. I am the source of that book.
If he told someone that, okay, that's the one I've read. Everyone says probably William, though, maybe Charles. The name I'm not hearing. Who orchestrates so much of it is the Odyssey. Okay, this is what I'm saying. It could be. after the meeting, I said it already, Charles went and talked to Camilla about it. And then Camilla probably did her thing. Either tell William, okay, maybe Camilla did not go to the tabloid, so they don't point finger at her. But whatever Charles probably told Camilla, Camilla told William, because she knows William will blab it out to the papers. Though let's be real, probably William, he is psychotic with his heavy resentment, hatred. Get 15 minutes with his own dying father. The power, William. Pathetic. Alright, it's very, very clear who is this. Alright, let's see here. Let's go into that. Okay. Alright. Okay, I read this somewhere. Just pause and read it, okay? Pause and read it. Pause and read it. Alright, here they are. Senior Palace Source, Royal Insider, Palace Source, Royal Aid. For this one, I'm gonna take Kate out of it. Unless she's trying to be back in the fold, and Camilla probably told her, and then she went and told the same thing that I said Camilla probably told William. Unless Kate is trying to be back into fold for people to like her, for the royal family to like her, that would be the only thing where Camilla probably went and tell her, and then she went and blab it out. Alright, so that's the only thing. But I think this is William. But Camilla told William, and William went and talked. Sibling Willie leaks, of course. There's that. Alright, let's go to the next tweet. Now, this is a little conversation from Henry VIII. I haven't shared much of her tweet. I think she has a YouTube channel. So this is a discussion she started. 4 years they defended Will and Kate through infantilization. Now that William and Kate are visibly aging, there has to be some kind of a plot to explain why they still aren't working. So she retweeted herself. That was dated September 25th, almost the same day. So William think there is an establishment plot against him, like there hasn't been an establishment plot to prop him up his entire life. Okay, William should know he was in the middle of it when he was undermining Meghan and Harry. Then again, it could paranoia. Be careful what you accuse someone of, because it could be your own demise. Did he not accuse his own mother of being paranoid? There's that as well. There was a whole plan brewing to blame his wife. Now they can't. Okay, like I was saying previously on the previous tweet, if Kate wants to be liked by the royal family, maybe Camilla went and tell her, and she told the papers. But I don't think it's her though. Alright, it's always an excuse with those two. Oh, they can't work because there is a plot to bring Harry back. Or they can't work because the school run. Or they can't work because they have kids. Or they can't work because they are still learning. Or they can't work because they have a lifetime of duties ahead of them. Lazy losers. Let's see, there's the comment here. I guess the C card ran a bit thin. Okay, I guess the C card ran a bit thin. What's the C here? And now they're reducing to a different tactic. They better play nice with their tabloid friend and his stepmother. Their claw are sharp. Camilla, the stepmother. Well, Harry doesn't care. I think they're afraid of Harry. Thing is, royalists accused them working when the queen was still alive because he wasn't heir. Now his heir, he and she are still not working, and the excuse giving for them now by that lot is altogether now they have a young family. They can't work because children are holiday break. I just came from where did I from this? Because funny thing is, this plot to bring Harry back are totally manufactured by Charles to yank William's chain hard. It's just such a shame that Harry is the one getting abused because his brother is a lazy idiot. All three of their children are in full-time school. They employ at least one nanny. Kate's personal dresser, William's personal valet, and 60 plus other staff. This makes a mockery of the "we can't work full-time because we have children" line that keeps being routed out and other public. Yeah, it's always one or the other excuse with those two. Kids holidays, heavy school run. Harry school run, Harry Kate's cancer, Harry King Charles cancer, Harry difficult 18 months, Harry modernized monarchy, Harry Meghan, Harry royal with small r's. What's r's? With small r. Harry, this is how William and Kate reasoning goes for not working, and why the general public is recognizing their laziness. Alright, so that's that. Alright, looks like I'm gonna have another video, so let's finish with this. This will be the last one for this video. That's that here. Okay, personally, I want for my faves whatever they wish for themselves. That being said, only an evil person will try to sabotage a cancer-stricken father's personal reconciliation with his younger son. They did a good job with that. I think I respond to it. My comment is somewhere here. Okay, well, it could be cancer-stricken deadbeat father behind all of this. It could be. But the thing is, I think he went and talked to Camilla. That's what I think. And then Camilla, I don't think Camilla went straight to the tabloid, because she probably doesn't want her name to be associated with that, with Harry and Charles, but instead went and tell William. That's what I think. I can't help it. It's my fat fingers. Alright, maybe, but I think Harry will know if his father was doing the leaking. To be honest, I doubt he will know, which is fine as long as Sis doesn't get tainted and all this. But it could be that Instagram is coming, so he has to play along. And what is it? I don't know what's that. I hope it's the case of IG. I don't know what's IG. Instagram? Okay. Harry has always said he wants a family, not a firm. Okay, that's separation that I keep on saying. It will be it will be good for them to bury the hatchet. That being said, space is always best. If Charles and Harry were to take a picture, let's say Camilla's not in the picture, just Charles and Harry and the kids, probably Meghan, that will boost Charles' image. Okay, that will boost his image. But I think Meghan is done with them, unless if Harry gets what he wants, where he gets the security that he needs, and Meghan comes in with his children and things like that. Meghan, Harry, the children, and Charles get that picture that, he's about image. All right, so if Charles were to get that, that will boost his image until he die. You will not hear a damn thing about the damn cancer anymore from Charles. All right. Harry has always said he wants a family, not a firm. It will be good for them to bury the hatchet. That being said, space is always best. True, Harry may want that, but is that what that sausage finger want or capable of doing? I truly believe, okay, I've said this before, when Meghan and Charles first met, I really believe it was on a good term. Things was going so good, but either Camilla, Men in Grey Suit had their own agenda, and they put nonsense in Charles' head. They bring him back. This is not according to the plan. Remember when they were going different? That was before, or maybe a little bit after Harry and Meghan left. The royal family is doing engagement. The squad pointed out, and then when I looked, I was like, okay, is that the sign? All right. They were doing the white power sign. The thing that you see going on in the US with Trump type of thing. And it's also going on in the UK, but the UK knows how to do it very subtly, not to be in your face all about it. They will complain and do their pointing fingers with immigrant. For the UK is immigrant. For the US is black people. Okay, so it was in their plan to do what they're doing. But when Charles, having good conversation with Meghan, and Meghan is a biracial, dark skin, not dark, but you could see Meghan's skin color. It was not part of the plan. So they probably told Charles to get back online, stick to the plan. And then ever since, things never been the same. All right. But Charles and Meghan was on good terms. If Charles listened to his feelings and go with his own instinct, things will be a bit better for him during his reign. But then again, I could see if he goes against men in gray suit or whoever's controlling the way things should be, the narrative and things like that, and he does that, then they're gonna start talking about Diana. So there's me responding to it here. Oh my God, 2 hours ago. Enjoy your devil eggs. There's that. Strong symbolism in this drawing. The peg, the rose. Only thing missing is something Jason. All right, that egg. There's me here. All right, so that's it for this video. I have more. We're gonna go with my next video. We're gonna start with that, with this tweet. Okay, so the copy. So I'm glad I stopped on my last video, on my last tweet, that the leaking and all of that. So hopefully the next video will be my last video for the recording. I'm keeping them around 30 minutes. Okay, so please take a moment to subscribe, like, and share. If you want to support this channel, there's a PayPal link and a Cash App link in the description. You could donate. Those who have donated, thank you. All right, stay tuned for, I think, video 4 or 5. I don't remember what number I'm up to. Thank you for watching.
It is a great privilege to be with all of you today.
You know, we ask for forgiveness and please come back.
As you saw me find the love and happiness that I'd hoped for all my life. You are all in this together, and if I may speak personally, we are all in this together, because asking for help was one of the best decisions that I ever made. You will be continually amazed how life changes for the better.